With Peter's shadow stolen, the winds carried whispers of a ship anchored beyond the cove. The sounds of the forest faded off in the distance. Ahead, the sea called with salt and caution. If the shadow was anywhere, it would be hidden where waves met wood and rope. The tropical air had shifted. The gentle whisper of waves was replaced by the deep creak of timber and the distant ring of a ship's bell. Peach made her way along the golden sands, expecting at any moment to hear the raucous shouts and clatter of pirates. Yet the cove was quiet, too quiet. Instead of chaos, she found herself in a place of strange serenity, the gentle rush of waves lapping against the shore. It reminded her more of a tropical paradise from a glossy travel brochure than the lair of a fearsome crew. Still, the stillness was deceiving. A tattered sail flapped in the distance, and there, at the far edge of the cove, loomed the unmistakable silhouette of a ship. Its dark hull and crooked mast stood like a shadow against the glittering sea. Peach's breath caught. That was where her path would lead her, and somewhere upon it, the answer she sought. Peach stepped onto the dock, the air thick with the smell of salt, tar, and danger. She was searching for Peter's missing shadow. But in a place like this, truth is as slippery as the tide. She climbed quietly, stepping past ropes that smelled of tar and old storms. Below, the mess hall sat in low light, a long table laden with the remains of a seafarer's feast. The crew's quarters were cramped, smelling of damp rope and old sea tales. If secrets were kept aboard this vessel, they were buried deep in these dimly lit walls. At last, Peach stood before the captain's door. The room smelled of ink and salt and intentions long plotted. Warm light spilled through tall glass windows, dancing across polished floorboards. Relics lined the walls, jeweled compasses, carved idols, tattered maps, each hinting at far-off lands and long-lost tales. This was no crude pirate's den, but a place of elegance touched with danger. Captain Hook filled the room like a storm, her crimson coat and polished brass buttons catching the light. Peach had, for reasons she could not name, pictured Captain Hook as a man, perhaps because of the way Peter had spoken in their previous conversation, or perhaps because of some half-remembered tale from long ago. But here she stood, sharp-eyed and still as the tide before a storm. Hook's gaze swept the horizon, then settled on Peach. She stared, amused. Then, with the theatrical flourish of a woman used to command, she made her meaning plain, not with words we would hear, but with a show of open palms and a shrug of satisfaction that said, "I could claim such a prize, if I had it." She let her meaning hang in the air. If Peter's shadow were here, a captain would keep it. She made a gesture, a sly pantomime of theft, fingers slipping away, and yet her gaze told the truth. She had not taken it. She leaned in, her voice a velvet whisper laced with danger. The true keeper, she warned, was the Witch of the Swamp. And in the shadow of the ancient willow, she sat with a grave, deliberate gaze. Dark things slumbered in its roots. The ship's laughter returned to the room as Hook stepped back to her maps. The conversation was over. So Peach left with no prize and no proof, only a name and a warning. The trail ran inland, into the whispering roots of the glade. The sea had given no answers, only another path. And in the glade, the truth, whatever it was, awaited.